We're about to begin, so just bring it on in. I know it's a little cold, it's a little windy, I know, but we'll get this done, over with, and quick. But thank y'all for coming out. Oh. So I would just like to start off by saying thank you to everyone that came out today for this press conference, either in person or watching via Facebook Live. Now, as a 27-year-old environmental activist and community organizer, I advocate for what I believe is right to the best of my ability. I was raised to believe that through hard work, diligence, and determination, we can create the future for ourselves and leave a better future for the next generation to carry on that they would be proud of, so then they can bring it to the next generation after them. As that 27-year-old, I have a responsibility to this community to not just simply and idly stand by as the opposition of a very few attempt to divide us through the spread of false information, the pandering of fear, and most disturbingly, the deliberate incitement of fabricated racial tension. I am extremely proud to be running with amazing people here, Mayor Stephen Ellis and JP Stettner. And as a candidate, both endorsed by the municipal and the county Democratic Party, I'm extremely proud to be running for Phillipsburg Town Council. Many folks have asked me why I want to run for Town Council. And the reason I give them is the same thing that I told you just now, because I have a responsibility to do so. As a community organizer, I work to protect the environment. I'm in a constant state of battle, fighting against pipelines, fighting against the injustices of communities, and fighting to protect our clean sources of drinking water. Well, today I'm here to tell you I'm fighting for Phillipsburg. I'm fighting to make our access to the Delaware River more apparent and more successful. I'm fighting to preserve our town's natural resources and our historical open spaces. And I'm fighting for our youth so they can partake in more recreational parks and spaces, to make our town beautiful, to make our town healthy. Along with this, it's time to properly and seriously begin redevelopment of our downtown. Like so many residents here in Phillipsburg, I believe in a brighter future, with South Main Street cultivated with new enterprises that will bring young people, that will bring new businesses here and residents, so then all of our town may prosper. I want to fight for our potential, so then we can invite more businesses, exciting restaurants, attractive entertainment, arts, music, and recreation for all to enjoy in this town. And as a young person of color, I'm fighting for communities in this town that have long since been underrepresented. I want to help provide a voice to those who have felt that their voice has not been heard in so many years. The slate of Ellis, Stettner, and Clark believe in this path. And we're fighting for this town and all who live in it. We need to get serious. We need to get serious for the residents and make those commitments happen. We have to come to an end with the political games and the endless cycles and come together and unite. So please join us, because we're fighting for Phillipsburg and we truly believe in a brighter tomorrow. So once again, thank y'all for coming out. And I'd like to introduce JP.
Thank you. They're not going to stay. I don't leave notes. For those of you that don't know me, I'm JP Stettner, lifelong resident of the town of Phillipsburg. Grew up here, went to school here, met the woman of my life here in town. We've been together ever since high school. I'm married 47 years with 3 great children. I left high school because I enlisted in the Army because there was a war going on. I thought it was my duty to serve. I think it's my duty to serve today. I enlisted, I returned from the Army, I ended up working for the state police for a while when the National Crime Information Center was first started. I was a computer operator, then took a job with the Phillipsburg Police Department and retired from here after 25 years as police chief. I then took a job as director of security for the Phillipsburg School District for 7 years, and then 10 years as the director of security, safety, and training for the Delaware River Joint Toll Bridge Commission. My entire life has been embedded in public service and protecting people. I had the luxury of serving as a councilman for you folks for 12 straight years. I decided not to run in 2016. I thought it was somebody else's turn to take over and do some work. And as I sat idly by for 3.5 years, I began to get frustrated. I'm frustrated the way our government is being handled right now. I'm actually frustrated by the fact that certain people don't understand the Faulkner Act, which governs how we run our municipality, what our duties and responsibilities are. I think if they would read the Faulkner Act, they'd understand what it is. Just to cut line items out of a budget to save money and not reduce the taxes on the people of this town is ridiculous. I'll give you some examples. We recently have totally taken out an ordinance for permits for gatherings in public places. That was put in place many, many years ago to stop some of these clandestine groups from running amok throughout the town. Why that was stopped, I'll never understand. I'll never understand why we're not paying to park anymore in some of our town parking lots. The revenue that we had coming in is going to no one. Again, I asked that question, where is that money going? Where does that save the taxpayers a penny? It hasn't. We've cut in excess of over $100,000 out of the Firth Youth Center. I cannot understand this. I cannot believe this. I grew up in that youth center as a child. The youth center has been a partner with the town of Phillipsburg since the 60s when our recreation director went over there. That not only hurt the youth center, and it hurt them bad, it hurt all the youth clubs in this town who now have to pay to play basketball games there all winter on a Sunday because they don't have the funds to support us. So the kids have to go sell more candy bars so that they can play basketball on Sunday morning. It is absolutely ridiculous. There are many, many more things that are happening that we're going to be discussing as this goes on, but the last thing I want to touch on is this building right over here. When I served on council, we had the good grace to be allowed to buy the Armory over there for $1 off the state of New Jersey. The Armory is a public building, so it can never be a tax rateable. It was the perfect solution to move DPW up there because DPW at the time didn't have the room downtown, and they weren't going to meet the stormwater management concerns of the state of New Jersey that were up and coming. We moved the DPW there. The entire council and mayor at the time were in support of moving the police department over there. Somebody had a different idea and stopped it completely. I can't complain because I got off council at the time. Had I still been there, we'd have been pushing to do it. But yet we'll let our police in there when we moved everyone else out, and we're going to tell people that it's safe because they're doing tests. Well, if it's safe, why aren't we all back in there? I got to ask a simple question. The money from those rateables is going to go anywhere. We can't use it. It's a town property. Our thought at the time was to move everyone over, sell this particular facility, and use the assets from that sale to offset the cost of the taxpayers, so it was very minimal at cost. And that's where we stood. I'll close by saying I've had the honor to serve you folks for many, many years. I've been blessed with that honor. I believe in every oath I have ever taken anywhere in this world. And I stay steadfast to those oaths. And I promise you that if I'm elected, and you elect my partner here, Lee Clark, and you elect our mayor, Rogie Ellis, we will strive to take public service to a new level where it actually becomes service to the public again, not someone else's agenda. I thank you. And now I have the privilege of introducing Mayor Ellis. Mayor.
Thank you, JP. And I want to start by thanking all the residents of Phillipsburg who have reached out in cooperation and support during the last 3 years. It's an honor to work together to improve our community. I also want to thank the Phillipsburg and Warren County Democratic parties for their unanimous endorsement of myself and my two outstanding running mates. The past few days have been clearly very difficult for my family. Matter of fact, the past year and a half has been very difficult for my family. It is my sincere hope that the campaign can move forward on the issues for all the people involved, as well as for the well-being of our community. My family and I love Phillipsburg and wouldn't be here if we didn't want to be part of this community to see it prosper and thrive. I ran for mayor and I am seeking re-election for one reason: to restore economic prosperity to Phillipsburg and bring back our town from years of neglect and decline. We are making real progress. My administration worked with the initial owner of the Ingersoll Rand site, Opus KTV, and the NJDEP to fast-track the brownfield permit process. The importation of contaminated soil to the site was also halted. We successfully negotiated to remove the town ownership of 2 parcels that contain hazardous waste. Now the site was sold to a new owner. Bridgepoint Construction will continue to work. We will continue to work with them as they develop the site. I am also working with the partners to develop a training program for the supply chain industry to ensure that Phillipsburg residents are prepared to take advantage of employment opportunities when that facility opens. We're going to be a little selfish. We have kept taxes as flat as possible, and we will continue to do so. We have obtained hundreds of thousands of dollars in grant money to address our infrastructure problems at no cost to the taxpayers. We are attracting new businesses and investment and have worked with state and federal governments to ensure programs that allow us to offer incentives to attract that investment. We are a waterfront community with built-in tourism attractions. And if we keep moving forward, we can transform our town into a regional destination and provide local jobs to our residents. This vision for Phillipsburg should be one that unites us across the board. We have to ask our opponents who oppose the revitalization and rebirth of our business communities, why will you work against this? The opportunities are right here before us. We should be working together towards prosperity of our community, not working against each other to tarnish our reputations and embarrass our town. We have to ask, who benefits from a successful Phillipsburg and who profits from failure? It's an interesting question because I can't figure it out. We have chosen to have this event at the library because this local library, walkable, accessible to our residents, is a symbol of choice of the voters. And they'll make that decision in June and November if it does come to referendum. I fought to save this library for our community while my opponents have wanted to shut it down and force our residents to drive out of town and out of county facilities for services they need. This library provides affordable internet to families, well, free internet to families who do not otherwise have access to it. It is here for our residents who do not have transportation to an out-of-town facility. We have to ask ourselves what kind of leadership supports the closing of community library and what kind of leadership fights for it. I am challenging my opponents right now to stop the ugliness that is tearing apart our community and embarrassing us to the rest of the state. I challenge them to run a campaign based on honest and civil disagreement and issues. Remember, we're the second poorest town in the greater Lehigh Valley, and that didn't happen overnight. Something that really you got to ask yourself how that happened. When you have Allentown, Bethlehem, and Easton, the 5th largest economic development region in the United States of America, you have to ask that question. We're the 18th poorest in the state. Our residents deserve the opportunity to grow, prosper, and with your support, this is possible. I thank you all for being here today, and I can guarantee you that I love the challenges that we're going to be faced with, but I feel very confident with these two opponents, or these two campaign people next to me, it's going to happen. Thank you very much.